I'm Liza Singer. I am a student at NYU's ITP program, which is an interactive media development and design program. We are part of the assistive tech class and a few of us were brought here by Riley to present some of our projects that we've worked on.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Now, tell me a little bit, you guys brought, what did you bring this year?
So we brought a few Connect projects as well as just kind of this is a DIY touch table. Okay. So it's a cheaply made version, I guess, of the iTouch or other examples that you might be seeing coming out of the major companies. And this is one you can actually build at home, which is a really great benefit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's actually quite cheap to build. I mean, if you have your own camera and your own projector, they're not special cameras or projectors. The whole entire total setup costs about, a couple hundred, so maybe 300.
Wow.
You can build a touch table at your own home.
So walk me through a little bit, if you don't mind. So you would build the wood structure on the outside.
Right.
And then what else do you have?
Okay, so this is a piece of acrylic, and that lines the board, and you don't see them, but essentially there are LEDs. I have a bit of the strip out so we can show people who are interested in building their own.
Okay, so curious people like us.
Yeah, so this is IR LEDs, and you line the piece of acrylic, have the IR shoot through the acrylic, and then it's read by the camera down, which as you can see is just stuck to the floor by duct tape, so it's very easy and portable.
And so that's your visual field, so that it sees when something is interrupted. Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
So you can actually start just using it this way without the projector itself.
Okay.
What the projector does, and this is why we have this mat on top.
Okay.
And it's a cheap mat. Like again, this is a mat you can just buy.
So easy clean up, right?
Right, exactly. Just throw it in the wash. It's really good for kids, which is why we decided on this as well.
Awesome.
And as you can see, it's for the projector to be filtered.
Oh, okay.
So, and also interrupts the IR lights, so the IR lights only shoot down.
Okay.
So what's happening is the IR lights are hitting my fingertips and illuminating them, and then sending that illumination to the camera.
Oh, beautiful.
So this is all camera vision, and it's, as you can see, it tracks each of the blobs.
Oh, beautiful.
And you have to calibrate, essentially, this is a calibration mode so that you can calibrate your touch points to the projection so the camera and projector match up.
Oh, that's perfect. Now, you have a specific purpose for this particular table, so tell me a little bit about that.
This table was originally built with the intended purpose of being used in the school environment, specifically for kids with autism, because they have trouble interfacing with computers. So we wanted to create a touch table that essentially would allow for young kids to be able to interact with software or other kind of pieces of computer technology that they wouldn't be able to interface if they have physical disabilities, because a lot of kids with autism also have slight physical disabilities.
Oh, okay.
As we found in our research when we went to the school.
Okay.
So our research did originally start with going to the school, meeting a bunch of wonderful kids of different age ranges, and we were trying to think of something that we could use with all these kids that would be useful for them with such an age range. So something that we felt could attack a lot of the education process for a lot of different ranges of severely autistic and have severe physical disabilities to not as severe and more high functioning.
Oh, beautiful.
So we wanted to create multiple different types of software and make it easy and portable. So that's why we started originally with the interface.
Oh, interesting. So, and you're actually working with a school to test these and to...
It's PSX in the Bronx. Cool. And we're working with an OT there who's also been working with the kids and so forth. And it's been a joy, and it's wonderful working with the kids. They're so excited and eager to kind of learn. So it's like a wonderful process.
So to show me a little bit of the software that you guys are working on.
So this is a bit of the blob.
Yeah, that's cool.
This is, as you can see, also just for anyone that's curious, this is a thing called CCV, which you can kind of use to help track blobs.
Oh, interesting.
And so this is the camera's view,
and
this is the blob tracking. So you can see that this is what's tracking and setting a number of each blobs. Okay. So that's a really helpful piece of software. I do my own camera tracking, but this is a nice little setup that they have specifically for touch tables.
Right. So this is CCV. Is that the name of the software?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they also have, essentially what you can do is you send the information to a TUYO client, which you have to write yourself.
Okay. Okay, cool. And what language are you programming in at that point?
It is in I've done it both in C++, but the software we have currently here, because it was adapted for our school, is processing, and it's a Java essentially framework.
Oh, awesome. Okay, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, it's actually a very visual program, so it's easy to work in.
Okay.
So it's actually taught at ITP. It's the first language that you learn.
The processing.
Right, processing.
Okay.
And then I personally like working open frameworks better for.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially this is a guy you have to dress for the office.
Oh, okay, so that's the rules. The office is the cue, okay.
Right, and we can change the code pretty easily, so it's actually adapted to depending on what kind of situation we want to give the kids. But for this demo, we're having him dress for the office.
Okay, so the idea is that you would be going to work and you try putting on the shirt, okay?
But it doesn't stay on if it's not perfect.
Oh, I see.
So if you want to put on the pants, though, you'll see
perfect.
that they stand, those are appropriate dress pants. And then you have to put on your underwear. And you'll see it goes under the pants, so it teaches also kids the order. We actually did go through a process of deciding whether or not we wanted to allow kids to do appropriate ordering or not. And originally we did have that, and kids found it very frustrating. So as we did user testing, we felt it was more important to try to teach them appropriately how to dress rather than focusing on
the order. Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
So,
okay. You didn't want to increase the frustration anymore, right? Okay.
We definitely discussed a lot about feedback and how we didn't want any extreme negative feedback, because kids are very, intimidated by having negative feedback, especially with, a learning disability.
Oh, interesting.
We didn't want to give them a lot of negative feedback, so it was more about just, if you get it right, it sticks. If it doesn't, there's no real, clear, satisfaction. So they want to be satisfied, but there's no negative consequence for getting it.
That's cool. That's cool.
Now he's all dressed.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, nicely done.
I guess I know how to dress for the office.
Yeah, exactly. Now, tell me where you see this going for what your purposes are for this round of this.
Well, we want to write better software. I mean, a lot of the process was building it, so we just wrote a quick applet for it. It's not the grandest intention. We want to actually create a touch table so that has an interface that we can also start documenting kids' information. Actually, it's also, we built a table that is not only multi-touch, but it's also a social tracker.
Oh, interesting.
And the benefit of that is we wanted kids to be able to have name tags or bracelets that they could wear, that they could sign in, and then be able to have their own user profile and then start working on their stuff. So we want to work on the software and getting into that place. I think that right now it's just an issue of trying to get the table and trying to user test to see if it starts working and it's easy to understand. So it's really about calibrating it, building it, and then for the next step we hope to get, now that the table is built, and